Welcome. This is a short course on how to make your first 1000 bucks from content. And this video specifically is part 2 of that course. So if you missed part 1, go in the link below and watch that first, because it's going to teach you one of the biggest misconceptions that people have coming in the game and how to actually solve it so you have any real chance of making it. Hi, my name is Jordan Parker. I'm the guy who creators come to when they want to scale their business or when they're pissed at the algorithm for taking away all of their hard-earned income. Today we're going to go through a juicy overview of the entirety of the course, and if you're proactive, you can actually start executing on most of those steps right now. Here are the 3 stages of building a content business. Stage number 1 is start with who. Business is a game of helping people. You need people to want something, then you give them that thing, and then they pay you money for it. Do this enough times and people start calling you a business owner. But this whole thing doesn't work if we don't have the right people in. So it only makes sense to start with the people. If you don't want to work like 20 hours days, of course. If you want to do that, then you can ignore people. We want to start with who first. Start with who is, we need to pick what kind of people we want to work with. You go on social media, you can pick your favorite, and you talk to a bunch of people. And you find a group of them that you like. You want to like the people that you will be working with, because you're gonna be spending a lot of time with them anyway, so why not make it enjoyable? Or alternatively, serve a bunch of people that you hate and hate your own business and life in like 2 years. So we want people that you like. That's cool. You go around, talk to a bunch of people, and you find groups of people, little pockets of people that you like. That's awesome. 2, we need those people to have a problem. Obviously everyone has a problem, but we need them to have a problem that you can solve or you want to solve, because you can learn how to solve the problem, but if you don't really want to solve it, then it doesn't make sense. For example, I have a big group of dentist friends, and they have a load of problems because running a dentistry business is pretty damn hard, but I don't like dentistry and I don't want to be working that, so I'm not picking them as my target audience. I'm working with creators. Once you have people that you like, that have a problem that you can solve, then you need to make sure that they have actual money to pay you. In most markets, the majority of people will not have that much money, but there will be like 20% that have a bunch of cash to spare, and this is who you will be selling to. But in general, if the market has more money overall, that makes your life easier. So looking for people older than 30, on higher up positions, and who are already paying for something is usually a good idea and makes things a little bit faster. But don't feel pressure to follow those are mostly guidelines. Follow your gut and just don't sell to people who are jobless or homeless or kids, because they obviously won't have enough money. So in the start with who stage, if you go absolutely crazy, you can probably do it in a week, but I suggest taking it a little bit slower, spending a little bit more time talking with people, because this is going to establish the overall direction of the business, and changing it is a little bit of a pain later on. So while you have some other source of income, spend a couple of weeks on this. Don't rush it and just talk to more people than you need to, because once you make the choice, then you'll be very confident you made a good choice, and you won't be always worried if you are missing out because the other audience is so much better. It usually isn't. Now we have 2 stages left. Before we get to that, I want to invite you to join Creator Income. Creator Income is the community of, creators I'm building. In there, you're going to find all of my insights with working with massive creators, and you're going to get them before anyone else could, or even before I could make them in a course on YouTube. And also as a bonus, you're going to get notified for the next chapters of this course, because there is a good chance I haven't managed to release all of them as you're seeing this. But anyhow, that brings us to the second stage of building your content business, which is making your baby funnel. It's called a baby funnel because it is small and you have ways to improve it, but it is still a funnel and it can still be very profitable. So what is a funnel? A funnel is simply a journey for your audience to solve their problem. They start here, they don't have the solution yet, they're annoyed, they don't like something, and they end here where everything is awesome, there's rainbows and unicorns everywhere, and their problem is perfectly solved. And in the middle of that journey, here is you helping them achieve that goal. This is the journey we're creating for them, and we want as many people from your audience to walk it. To make this journey, we need something to sell first. You already have the people and you understand their problems, but we need a specific problem to solve and sell them the solution to. First, you're not going to sell this as a course. That is absolutely stupid early on, because no one knows you and no one trusts you. No one is going to buy your course. They're going to go and buy from someone who is famous and he has a lot more reputation than you have. So don't make a course. You're going to make a service. They're going to come to you and you're going to solve the problem for them completely. And yes, this is more work, but it pays a lot better, because even from one service sale you can make $1,000, and because of that it requires fewer sales, so you don't need to spend all of your time marketing and selling. You can work with a much smaller roster of clients. So you're going to sell this service. To figure out what kind of a service you're going to sell, you look at what your audience is currently buying and you do it differently. You do it in a way that you think is going to work better. This is very important. You're not going to be innovative, you're not going to be interesting. You want a boring service to offer them. This is critical because because someone else already invested the time, money and energy to validate that this market needs this and pays for this. If other people running successful businesses selling this, that means that you can run a successful business selling this. And no, the market is not saturated. You just need to position yourself in it. What that means is that if you go to a market, there might be 100 people selling tomatoes, but some tomatoes are organic. Other tomatoes are special because they're pink cherry blossom something tomatoes. A third type of tomatoes are made out of meat for some reason, and the fourth type of tomatoes are gluten-free. Whatever the case, people find ways to present the same thing, which is tomatoes, in different ways so people can have a reason to choose them. This is called positioning, and you need to figure out a way to present your service in a way that it is different than anyone else is offering on the market. Again, it is the same service, it is the same results that they're getting, but you're presenting them in a different way, and you're pretty much always doing them in a different way because it's you doing them and not anyone else. So after you have the service, after you have positioned it on the market, then you start having conversations with people. You talk to as many people as you want. You're not going to get buyers from your posts. That's not how it works. You create posts to attract people who are interested in the problem, and then you send them messages and start conversations with them. In those conversations, you're going to figure out if they have the problem, and in there you can offer them your solution, aka your service. And to make this more effective, you can also get them on a sales call, but that's usually not necessary. If people have a painful problem and disposable cash, they're very fast to pay you, and they don't want a sales call on their end. They just want to get it done and get it over with as soon as humanly possible. But in some markets, you might need to have the conversation on a call as well. It is what it is. After you start doing this, you can already start making sales and you can already make your $1,000. The next steps from there, and I'm going to be much faster with them because this is not going to be the focus of the course, is going to start owning your traffic, aka building an email list. This email list is where you send everyone who is not ready to purchase right now, and then you send them emails a few times per week so they can remember you and buy the service when they actually start needing it. Next in the baby funnel, and the final part of the baby funnel, is setting the right expectations. When you're in a conversation, you can set the expectations perfectly because you have the other person, you're talking to them, you can understand them, they can understand you. It's generally easier to set expectations and set this as the right kind of relationship in a conversation. The right kind of relationship is a transactional relationship. You're there to help people in exchange for money. You're not their friend, you're not their best friend, you're there to help them and take their money. Both of those things. Yes, you can become friends later, and I have become friends with a lot of my clients, but you don't start as a friend. You start as an expert helping them, because when you start as an expert, it's easy to ask for money. And if you start as a friend and ask them for money, you're a sellout. And no one likes sellouts. And that brings us to the third and last stage of building your content business, which is algorithm freedom. The stage you're going to be most excited about, and you're going to spend the least amount talking, because the course is focused on your first $1,000 and not on scaling a six-figure business. So here you need to understand the game more deeply. You need to understand the supply and demand curve and how supply and demand work. And also you need to embed it in your brain that the only businesses that are profitable and lasting are the businesses that have more demand than supply. This is a necessity. And that's why early on you're working so hard to create demand. That's why you're talking to so many people. That's why you're doing so much of the grunt work. And also that's why you're creating a service, because services inherently have limited supply. You have limited hours per day you can deliver a service. Compared to products, you can just digitally copy and paste forever, infinitely. The next part of freedom is branding. You need to understand how branding, aka building associations between you and something else, works. And then you want to build the right associations in your audience's heads so you attract the right people and you repel the wrong people. Next, you want to create more lead sources. You start and focus on a single network because this is easier and faster, but later on you cannot rely on a single network to bring you all of your clients, because that puts your business in the hands of the social network, and if that changes, you might be screwed and out of a business. So you want to diversify there and make sure that you're safe and stable no matter what happens. The next part is called systems for scale, and it's basically organizing your business into tangible systems that allow you scaling. Early on, your business is going to be a mess, and that's okay. And you shouldn't systematize it too early. It's just a waste of time because you don't know what you're doing. But later, as you start establishing processes that you know work, then you start systematizing them so they're repeatable and you can actually get other people to help you with them. And finally, the last part is acquiring leverage. And you can only acquire leverage in three ways. You can automate things, so you can introduce automation and AI in your business. You can hire people. They can be freelancers or full-time employees. It doesn't really matter, but you probably will start with freelancers. Or you can have a lot of capital that you invest here and there, which is probably not going to be the kind of leverage you have early on. And this is everything. In the following videos, I'm going to teach you everything you need to make your first $1,000, and probably way more than that, to be honest. And then for everything else, you can join Creator Income, where I share all of that as well. But for now, go to the links below, find the next video, and I'll see you there. Ciao.